Do you remember a time when you were younger when you received a trophy without even winning? This is known as a participation trophy, a reward that is given to an individual just for participating. This is the most common in youth sports or other competitions. This is the early development stages of children, leading to the controversy over the idea of a participation trophy. Some say it is beneficial to always be rewarded, while others argue the opposite, saying it does more harm than good. Is there truly a right or wrong answer? Each side is able to establish a defensible argument, and we will discuss the evidence backing each side. Which school of thought is correct, and which is more popular? This controversy can be broken down into behavior development argument of reward versus punishment. Is reward the better method of reinforcement, or is walking away with nothing still worth something? This controversy carries over to the field of psychology and behavioral development. A theory was created by B.F. Skinner, who had built off Thorndike's law of effect. Skinner had introduced a new idea that behavior that is reinforced is often repeated, but behavior that is not reinforced tends to cease. This has built the foundation for his theory of operant condition. Skinner broke down the means of conditioning into reinforcement and punishment. There were both positive and negative means of each form, meaning something was taken away or added. Psychologists, parents, and educators alike debate on which form of reinforcement is the best. Participation trophies are greatly influenced by this debate. Positive reinforcement is a reward that is added in consequence of a behavior. Participation trophies can act as a form of positive reinforcement, as individuals may be positively reinforced for participating and making it more likely they will do so again. But others may argue that they are being reinforced in consequence of losing, which according to Skinner's theory would make the individual more likely to repeat that behavior and feel as if they do not need to win. In Skinner's theory, negative punishment is the removal of a potentially rewarding stimulus as a punishment for an undesirable behavior. One could argue that by taking away the reward of a trophy, it will condition the individual to view losing as undesirable and therefore try harder to win. Others argue this would condition someone to view participating as undesirable because they are not being rewarded.
Participation trophies have been heavily contested in our society and have led to the formation of strong opinions for them and against them.
Well, a poll just recently released from Reason Group found that 57% of Americans feel that only winning players should get a trophy. 40% say all of the kids who participate should get one. Debate boiling down to teaching your kids about winning and losing and rewarding them for a job well done.
After a lot of extensive debate and research, much of our population has been able to independently determine their viewpoints on giving out participation trophies. Each side of the argument has statistics and persuasive points to back them up, which is why there is no determinable correct answer. First, we will examine the side against these trophies.
In an attempt to spare children the hurt that comes with failure, participation trophies rob kids of learning by losing.
The majority of our country's population supports this opinion, as 57% of Americans think that only winners should receive participation trophies, while 40% believe that all kids deserve trophies. Sports psychologist Dan Gould personally believes that participation trophies should not be given out past an early age because they will hurt a child's motivation. He also believes that the 40% in favor of this practice is higher than ever before, and he accredits this to the trophy generation. He's basically just saying that the more recent generations who grew up getting these trophies are now in support of them. This recent speculation of the trophy generation is actually supported by data. One can clearly depict an overall trend downward in support of these trophies as the ages interviewed become older and older. This suggests that many who grew up without participation trophies in their lives are against giving them out to kids, while those who had participation trophies in their lives do support them. Gould is not the only expert who sides against participation trophies. Many others would agree that for one main reason, participation trophies are not a good thing for children. This reason is motivation. The side against participation trophies seems to always come back to the belief that giving kids participation trophies will deplete their motivation. Their argument is that when everybody wins a trophy, the natural desire to stand out evaporates. It's kind of similar to the concept of inflation. When everyone's a millionaire, the motivation to make money just isn't there. So we have a sense of the argument against participation trophies. So what does the other side have to say?
In retrospect, proponents of the idea for participation trophies argue one main point: positive reinforcement.
Well, I've coached youth sports for many, many years. A lot of parents think this is pretty silly to give a participation trophy to every kid, but from a coach's perspective, when I watch these kids work hard and I see kids who have no skills to start with finally hit a basket or score a goal at the end of the season. They're so happy. And then I hand them that certificate or that trophy. It just means so much to them. And you can't buy that kind of joy for a child. Children need that. They need the opportunity to be children. And this just nurtures that and continues to allow them to have fun with the sport.
Young children need to be positively reinforced to show them that hard work and a valiant effort are worth rewarding. Young children are not groomed to be all-star athletes and may not win every game. Neither are young children the best spellers, scientists, or even cooks. However, instilling them with a mindset that hard work pays off will give these children a chance to truly become the best at something later in life. In a study by Cornell University, children were given a test and then either praised for being smart or for working hard. Later, the two groups were offered the choice between an easy test or one that was more difficult but presented an opportunity to learn. 67% of the kids called smart chose the easier test, while 92% of the kids praised for working hard chose the more difficult one. Rather than teaching kids a black and white dynamic of winning versus losing, participation trophies can help show kids that trying new things, even when you might not be good at them, can teach you far more than only doing things you know you can win. Teaching your child that the only option is winning will instill a fearful mindset inside of them. They will shy away from competition and choose just to be average. However, with an everyone wins mindset at a young age, kids will be more open to new challenges and making new goals for themselves because they won't be focused on the fear of losing, but instead the reward at the end for their hard work.
Environmental influences play a part in developing mindsets, specifically location. The region in which citizens reside, as well as cultural influences, contribute greatly to one's beliefs about what is important in life. Countries like the United States, Canada, and most parts of Europe value life satisfaction and health the most, whereas countries in South America hold education to be the most important, compared to Albania and Ukraine, where income is considered to be the top priority. Surprisingly, the true value of the environment doesn't go without notice only in Slovenia and Georgia. Then there's Moldova, which seems to be the only country to hold jobs as the top priority. Continuing westward, Monaco, United Arab Emirates, and Japan are most concerned with safety. And lastly, work-life balance is at the top of Australia's prioritized list. These values held by different countries can be seen in their practices. Coming to understand the cultural differences in beliefs and values across the globe, to little surprise, awarding the athletic youth with participation trophies has become increasingly popular in the United States. But controversy on whether it is good or bad remains. In some cultures, winning sends a message of strength and stability. By others, winning is taken more lightly, and it comes down to the aspect of putting your best foot forward. Psychologists hold competing perspectives, and research offers the advantages and disadvantages for both arguments. For many people, the participation trophy symbolizes a lack of discipline, strength, accountability, and impacts child development. But others believe that this form of reinforcement is a self-esteem booster and encourages kids to take part in something larger than themselves. Ultimately, the verdict is left to the participant, coach, or parent.
So, is there a right or wrong answer? The answer is most likely no. Despite each side being able to create a valid and defensible argument, this controversy is at a stalemate. As we have seen through history in the context of social learning, there is still much of a debate on the benefit of participation trophies and the bigger picture of behavioral learning. There are benefits to each of the different forms of reinforcement, and they can be applied to the context of this controversy. It has shown that there are benefits to walking away with nothing as well as walking away with a big shiny trophy.